Robbie, Ruben Amorim has told Alejandro Garnacho to find a new club. We'll be going through the latest news and what has been said by Ruben Amorim. It's come out from the Daily Mail a couple of hours ago. Now, it was quite a damning article. If you look at it, there was some interesting quotes flung around in there. But he talked about Alejandro Garnacho in the article, and they said, this is the main gist. Ruben Amorim told Garnacho, you better pray that you can find a club to sign you, to Alejandro Garnacho in the aftermath of the events surrounding the Europa League final. I mean, on that meeting that happened on Saturday, that is a very, very damning quote. Let's analyse that first. You better pray. Like, he's obviously frustrated. I think there's something going on behind closed doors with Garnacho that's forced Amorim kind of to make this decision. It's not an easy decision. I think standards are being set. The manager will do everything he can to try and get us back to the top. And I think it's good. I think the fact that Garnacho doesn't have that attitude, the way he came out after the game, Ruben Amorim was obviously frustrated. And when you disrespect and undermine a manager in the way that he did, no player or manager is bigger than the club. And ultimately, it's down for Ruben Amorim to make that decision. And it was the correct decision. I think it's time for Garnacho to leave. And I think it makes a lot of sense. I think if you look at the players we can bring in, Embuemo, Cherky, these sorts of players who are more suited to the system, and I just don't think Garnacho has the mentality and the attitude to play for Manchester United. I think he just thinks he's way better than a player that he is, and he's got too big of an ego. Now, in terms of what to expect from the game and what to expect from the Garnacho situation, I think he will leave the club. It's, if nothing else, at least you can just see Amorim is ruthless, and that's something that that happened. So yeah, that's on that. I think Garnacho will leave the football club. I think that decision has been made in the aftermath. I think that the kind of aftermath was kind of the final straw for Ruben Amorim. And I think it's time as well for him to go. I think there's better players, better suited to the system. I think Garnacho, he would have had a great career at Manchester United in terms of there will be clubs interested in signing him. And I think that allows us to bring in an Embuemo, bring in someone else who's way more suited to the system that will ultimately help Ruben Amorim in the future. Garnacho, obviously, he's had a fallout with the manager, and that's what happens. I mean, we see a possibility a couple of seasons ago where Garnacho and Rashford were destined to be in that United team for at least another 5 seasons, and you look at those two are likely to leave, as well as Sancho and Anthony. So it is going to be a huge cultural reboot, but also a huge attacking reboot for Manchester United as well, with the new players coming in. But for me, listen, Garnacho is a very damning article. He said you better pray that you can find a new club, which shows that attitude problems are probably really high and really becoming a problem for Garnacho. But listen, for me, I think it's time to go. And yeah, that's the last I'm going to say for now on that situation. But you can read the article, it's from the Daily Mail. Now, the next thing, I want to talk about the Bruno Fernandes ultimatum. He has been given 72 hours, so until Thursday, more or less, which the article said, to make a decision on whether he's going to sign for Al Hilal. Remember, it's 700k a week, and an 80 million, I think, fee in which they want to pay to Manchester United. It's a ridiculous amount of money. I don't think Bruno will take it. I think Amorim and Bruno has kind of reiterated himself that he wants to be at Manchester United. I think you can understand why some people would want to sell Bruno for the price and the money you can get in to reinvest it to the squad. I think Bruno is fantastic, and he's one of our most important players at the team at this current moment. A consistent player who performs game in, game out, week in, week out, always available, always willing to give 100% for the shirt. Now, on Bruno Fernandes, as I said, he's on the tour right now with the players. He will probably go to pre-season tour. He'll have a holiday after the post-match tour. Then you have a couple of weeks off and kind of assess the future. I think that's what will happen with a lot of people, a lot of players at Manchester United. For me, we'll obviously get more as it comes out about the Bruno Fernandes situation going into Wednesday, Thursday, which we will bring to. But listen, it's fascinating to see what happens. I don't think Bruno will leave. I don't think he wants to leave. I think he wants to be part of the history of Manchester United. He's already won 2 trophies in the time he's been here, and they're not enough. I think he wants to be winning a Premier League, a Champions League, a Europa League, just a big major trophy like that. He's already won the FA Cup, he's won the Carabao Cup as well, but there's bigger trophies to win at club level. And yes, listen, you have to look at his 30, his generational wealth for his family. It massively helped the club to get that sort of money in, especially in that financial position that we're in. But I just don't think that Bruno Fernandes wants to leave the football club, and you can understand why. What he's done in the club for the last 5 years, he deserves to be winning the Premier League and the Champions League. But listen, Al Hilal, obviously they want to sign someone who is hot on the money, someone who's going to bring in sales, someone who's going to bring money into the club, and also someone who's a marquee signing like Bruno Fernandes is. But yeah, listen, on Bruno Fernandes, for me, I think he's going to stay at Manchester United. He has kind of confirmed it as well. But yeah, let's see what happens on that situation. But yeah, that's it. I think on the Garnacho situation, he wants him to leave. But this doesn't have the price of Garnacho. The fact that you're leaking that AMORIM's told him to go probably does drop money off his price tag. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But effectively, on the Garnacho situation, AMORIM has basically told him to get out and find a new club. There's obviously something going on behind the scenes. Garnacho is obviously not happy with AMORIM and vice versa. And we've seen it before. Managers have fallouts, and it's looking like Garnacho is going to be leaving the football club. Let's see what happens with that. And yeah, that's really it, to be fair. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed. This has been the latest 7 PM news. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Garnacho situation, the Bruno Fernandes situation, and yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Thank you for watching.